Yeah, that one's cool. Okay. Got the more side sounds good. Yeah, I'm good.
We're good, yeah?
Come.
Okay, Shalom, Shalom. We are
Shalom,
GMS London broadcasters coming to you with another sit-down lesson. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakodash.
And as always, we give the double honors to the apostles, our apostles and elder bishops, the great millstones who rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect and all the brothers out there, you know, doing the work in truth and in sincerity, man. So we're going to get into World War III and prophecies today, man. It's you know, this is the times that we're in, as you see what's going on between, you know, Babylon, the state of Israel, and Iran, man. And you know, and they're trying to draw the UK into this, as always. You know, at the end of the day, the UK is always going to be drawn in because why? It's that it's the mother of the whole.
Right.
All right. So let's kick off with what you know.
Come on. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Right. So what's that saying, man? It's like, you know, you waiting around. We're waiting. You know, all we want to do is see the prophecies come to pass. Why? So we can basically be free. You know, get out of here. Yahweh tried to return and to put our enemies, you know, at his feet, man. Okay. And it's funny because that precept, it reminds me, I talk to people sometimes about the state of the earth and what's going on with the wars and stuff. And they like to say, you know, yeah, you know, you ask someone, you know, do you think there's going to be a World War III? And us, we know it's going to happen. So I'm just asking for a response to see what they're thinking. Right? Right. Exactly. You took the exact words right out of my mouth. They say that every single time, and that's just a state of denial, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's really all that is they're living in denial. They just don't want it to be in their lifetime, but it's on the doorstep, man. All these things are precursors. What's going on now? You know, war doesn't just occur like that. You know, you can have talks, and there's peace talks, and there's talks of, you know, invasions and whatnot, and then you know you have the smaller things popping up, like what this would be deemed small in comparison to World War III.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily for the people that's involved with it, but you know it's all for the bigger picture. The bigger picture of Yahweh Shem Shai's bigger picture.
Got a precept?
You want me?
Come on.
This is Matthew 24, starting at verse 2. Let me start from verse 1, give you context, right? And Yahweh went out and departed from the disciples. So I think, if you I'm reading it wrong. And Yahweh went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for him to show the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh said unto them, See all these things, verily I say unto you, there shall not be here left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world. And Yahweh answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Now, if I may just speak on that point for a second, there's a lot of signs that we were supposed to be looking for the signs of the end of the world. The first thing that Yahweh said is take heed that no man deceive you. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of these people out here who, as you said, are in denial, what it is that World War III is something that they know if it happens, it's going to be a global catastrophe. And the thought of that is too much for them to take. So therefore, they put it out their mind and they want to live in the house of mirth. Therefore, they're easy to be deceived, because whenever Esau comes on the TV and tells them, oh yeah, we need to do this for peace, what did the scripture say when they should say peace and safety? Then sudden destruction shall come upon them. But because they didn't want to consider the dark side of what these things could be, because they didn't want to go to the house of mourning, guess what? They allowed themselves to be deceived.
Got that precept as well.
But Baba Kushal, let me just get to the point, if I may.
And I want to say something real quick as well, because what it started saying that G-House, I said all these,
showing the temples of the building, all these things verily I say unto you, there shall not be here left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
So you know, in you know, it's showing you, man. You have us talking about, you know, he's showing them what they see in front of them, but that's really about these times, man.
Mm.
You know, this is like over 2,000 years ago, man. You know, we're in that last time. We're in that last day now. So everything that we see now, and that's the thing. It's like you think about World War II, the Second World War, right? We can get the precepts and all of that, but when that came around, you already had World War One. What was that? 1914 or something like that.
1914 to 1919. I
Right,
think.
that's it. And then, you know, so there was already kind of an understanding of what war was like.
The Gatling gun.
Yeah. So, and previous to that, you had all kind of civil wars going on and whatnot, and then you had World War II. So it wasn't that far apart. So, what I'm trying to say is that now we're living in a softer generation. People don't understand that these things can actually happen because you're living in it's almost like you're living in the Matrix, man. So they're deceiving you about what's really going on out here. So the dangers don't seem real to the people. So they can't see this coming.
They've been in denial, in a bubble.
That what's going on over there is over there, and it's never going to reach over here. But that's not what's going to happen, man. Anyway, finish that. Bro. I just wanted to say that.
It's like I just want to get to the point, and you bring your piece up over Pishas. Like this is verse 5 of Matthew 24. For many shall come in my name and say, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows.
And it said all these things must come to pass.
Yep.
This is inevitable, so it doesn't matter how you feel about it, you know, in your lifetime or the next lifetime. No, you know, and how do we know this? And that's the difference between us and them. They can't see it because they don't know how to read the signs. You know, we've been given the knowledge on how to read the signs. We know what the signs are, so we can see that it's inevitable, man.
That's right.
You know, and not just the matter of fact that, but the matter of that we believe. You know, we have the faith in the scriptures and what we've been taught through the Spirit is true. So we know it's going to happen, man.
Go precept.
There ain't nothing you can do about it. Because you was next to go, and then you get yours.
Yeah, on the exact point, you know, about knowing that these things will come to pass and are coming to pass. This is Isaiah 55:11. It says, So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Yeah, so it's just, you know, as the scripture, you know, the word of Yahweh Shimshah speaks for itself, that these prophecies of which are written within this book, we know it will happen, which, you know, when you know something, that's the highest level of belief for which you can have for, you know, that thing that's established. And we know as the scriptures are written, we see it as facts, you know, not like other individuals, you know, of the world, heathens, whether it be heathens or Jake, you know, we know that, of course, they may see it as, you know, fictional, but they'll see with their own eyes that the words of Yahweh Shem Yashah is the thing that, you know, stands the longest, you know, against any other idols and all other books of the world, of which they may believe in, but in vain.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And you know, when you look at what Revelation 1:7, it tells you that
Cloud.
something Yahweh's coming in the clouds, and the whole earth will mourn. Because that's just read it. I don't know why they can talk it. Just read it.
Revelation chapter 1. It's one of my favourite scriptures. I've got to say, man.
I think everyone loves that one.
It's the oh shit moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, in that moment. They knew.
Yeah.
They fucked up.
I don't know if you guys remember the film Independence Day, right? There's one bundle of sticks in there that's a friend of Jeff Goldblum, right? And he's got a really hoarse voice, right? And there's a point where he's in the car, and the first laser beam from the chariot comes down, and you see the wave of fire, the beam of destruction, and you see all the cars like flipping towards him. He's like, oh shit!
It's almost like he submitted to the fact that it was game over.
Yeah.
You know, he accepted his fate.
But the funny thing about it is that they didn't put anything in there by chance, because he was clearly a sodomite, right? And That's what a lot of these people who have bought into these ideas of like you can live whatever lifestyle you want in Babylon. That's gonna be this is for them, right? Of course, for everyone, but bear in mind, right? Well, Revelation 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen.
Yeah, so that's like we said, that's the realization moment, man. That's the we effed up moment, because now everything that we've been saying, we've been talking about chariots, we've been talking about the invasion coming, we've been talking about getting caught up in the chariots and the laser beams and the World War III and everything else, and it's going to come to pass, and everyone's going to see it, man. And in that moment, they're going to know, well, them men that was out on the streets and doing the videos and the shows and all of that, they were talking the truth.
Yeah.
Right, but now it's too late. And for those of you outside of Israel, man, it was never for you anyway. So all you're doing is, you're seeing your impending destruction. We're talking about your demise, man. You know what I mean? This truth is for the Israelites, man, and it's for a select few, the elect. So when those clouds, when Yahushua burst those clouds with the chariots, man, there's only a select few, the 144,000, and that multitude that's going to be saved because they believe in the word as well. That's getting out of here in one piece.
That's right.
You know? Yeah.
I've got a good stuff as well.
Ecclesiastes 7:2, it says, "It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart." So you see, we're in the house of mourning right now, being in this truth. But as we're seeing with how things are going on, it's better to be here, because you got people that were in the house of feasting, for example, such as Dubai, and now what are they seeing? They're seeing the stars coming down from heaven, man. So that's why it says it said the damn, I lost it.
And you know what? Because you mentioned that, you get it back to that, but I'm gonna while you because there's also some wickedness going out in Dubai, man. Because you said about all this going over there for enjoyment or whatever.
Yeah.
There's some wickedness going over there, and them Arabs out there doing some nasty shit, man.
Yeah, there's a whole sex industry out there.
Literally defecating on these Jake girls, man. And they're just lost anyway, man. There's nothing you can do about that. They're finished. But that's I was thinking on these.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's judgment going out there anyway, man.
That's right.
That's just judgment, man. And there's more judgment to come. That's just a small, small piece of that, man.
Oh boy.
Yep. That's why it says the living shall lay it to his heart. So we're the ones that are the living, man. And the word heart in the Hebrew is the mind. So we keep these scriptures. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times, and that's what's going to keep us alive in these trying times. Some of us will have to lay our lives to the truth, but we understand that those of us that may have to face that fate will be raised up first. So either ways we're good.
And it doesn't just keep us alive, it keeps us sane.
That's right.
Because people are going to be losing their minds when all these things are popping up, but we're not going to be losing our minds because we already know what's going to happen, man. It's not going to be a strange occurrence when we see, certain miracles happening, certain, destruction coming, or the bodies laying in the streets and all of that. There's going to be a spirit on us to deal with these things, man, and plus the knowledge and the wisdom that we've attained through this truth, man. You want to say something?
Yeah, just on the point of Dubai, I went out there because my father lives in them type of areas, Dubai, UAE, Arab Emirates, Qatar, and there's really nothing out there. It's like a hollow, empty shell of a place. I was saying to brothers before, it's like all you do is stay in a hotel, then get out, go into an air-conditioned car, go to a shopping mall, go to a restaurant, rinse and repeat, and you're living the so-called high life in Esau's eyes, but that's no high life, man. There's no it's like it's a very vain, empty. It's like for people who want to stunt and front and act like they're rich, and they love the fact that they don't have to pay taxes out there, and they claimed, oh, it's much safer than London. Well, look at you now, man. What you got to say now? You're in the epicenter of a war zone. And who's defending you? Now you're begging for UK to send chartered planes
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring your ass back here.
Mm.
And if they don't bring your ass back here, you're having to pay what, like, how much a ticket? 7,000 or something? Now you're in the shit, man. And everybody's in the shit out there. Because, like, Dubai is not a place where people are going to stand up and fight for it. Because most people who live in there are from other countries.
Expats.
There you go. So they haven't got a sense of loyalty to that place. They're going to run back to where they came from, if they can get there. You know, so that place is finished, man. And I can't remember what the last point you said was. I had something to say on that, but it's escaped me. So go on.
You said? Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Yeah, that's why people are in denial, because they're drunk, they're high on the wine of Babylon. What's the other word? They're highly invested. So whether you be a big billionaire, just stunter, or
Instagram, huh?
Instagram, you know, to name a few, rainbow person, you know, you're highly invested in this kingdom. So you're going to be in denial. The earth is drunken, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, that's what happens. That's the end result of being invested in something or drunk on something. You know, you don't want it to end. So you're gonna be in denial, even if what's that saying? When I see it, I'll believe it. That's the attitude of a lot of people. So it's hard to convince them. Two more. 8 says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. So we're in that stage now where it's a snowball effect. It's building momentum, and people ain't going to be convinced, as you say, only the elect, because we know what time it is. So
Before you finish it, because we need to talk about all that stuff that's going on out there, man. You know, because you know, it alludes to the wine and, you know, what they're spreading about, but you know, they've infected the nations, but more so the core of the infection is right there. And you know, you got all that stuff that you mentioned. Now look, every time you turn the TV on, or every time I look at the YouTube, there's some bullshit politics about what's going on out there. You know, you got all the in-house fighting. You know, you got politicians on stands being cross-examined for wickedness.
Yeah,
You know, you got Trump in Epstein files.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking about things he's supposedly done, and yet the man's still running the country. So it shows you the level of that place. You
the
know,
level of the rot.
the rot is there. They can't even see there's a saying, you can't see the wood for the trees, man. You know, here it is. You got the man, the POTUS here, as they call him,
President of the United States,
being accused of all sorts of essay and all that stuff, and he's still walking around, man. And so it shows you the power of that. You know, that's a nation of wickedness, right? You know, it shows you who's running the world. The world is run by men like that who indulge in those sorts of witchcraft and wickedness behind the scenes. That's why he's still walking around, because that's what they're into.
Yeah, and they've been into it for the longest time. Now Esau is being made bare. I've got one for you.
let me just finish.
I was lucky.
8 again. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. Because they're going to want to try and catch up. Right? Is this a
Make
passing?
America great again.
Yep. Is it a passing phase? That's, you know, those that are drunk on the wine. Yeah, we get through this, or the Felix. You know, that well-known saying. So that's their hope.
So the Felix.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, rising from
rising out of the ashes. So that's their mantra, if you like. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Last one. He would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone unto his own country. We're going to start to see that. What's happening in Dubai?
Yep.
That's happening because as a matter of fact, let me finish this. Everyone unto his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven. Revelation 18, and it is lifted up even to the skies. So that's why people are scrambling now, scrambling like cockroaches trying to get out of Dubai. And they've got this, if I could just bring this quick article out. You want to say something? You can say it.
I just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Because you mentioned something about the Phoenix and them trying to heal from it.
Yeah.
It's like that's a cover because the real rulers of that place know that there is no healing. They're the ones trying to hold back prophecy because they know the truth, right? So they're trying to keep back Yahweh Shai from returning, basically. So ultimately, this whole "Make America Great Again" it's all bullshit, as we already know. There is no making anything great again until Yahweh Shai comes back. That's then we're gonna make the earth great again under his rulership. But there, the elites, they're looking at this, what's going on, and they're just, it's just a game to them. Because ultimately, they're just holding back the prophecies or attempting to. But what they don't understand is that they're going to come at it. We read it at the appointed time, man.
Yep.
The time is already, the time is set. So no matter what they do, or no matter what they think, what they're holding back, or what they're postponing, it's already set in motion.
Yeah, this is something that in the House of Commons, this is what the Keir Starmer, one of the things he said, among many other things. But I'll just read what he says in the news. It says the government's commercial flight will be available for charged British nationals, their spouses or partners, and children under the age of 18 or eligible to register 2 government chartered flights. So far, we have returned British citizens from Muscat, Oman. This is that they've set this scheme up because people are desperate to get out, as we've seen on a lot of those TikTok videos. So we're going to start to see more. We're going to start hearing more about not only with Dubai, other countries as well.
But look, ultimately, when the real deal comes, there's no getting on planes and escaping. There's no escape. You know what I mean? There's no escape, man.
There's no Independence Day where the aeroplane just beats the fire.
Just beats it.
Not in this
Read what you got.
Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
You're right, man. I mean,
So,
good.
because as you can see right now, that since it's been kicking off a couple of weeks ago, we've seen that everybody, like the scripture says, Esau, their own tongue should fall upon themselves, because everybody's going against them now. Yeah. And the people are mourning now. Even the so-called these Edomites are mourning. These other nations are mourning. Yeah. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And who is rejoicing right now? The Hebrew Israelites are rejoicing, because we are so happy to see that the downfall of this kingdom is coming into fruition. Yeah. So we're happy about that.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, there is mourning, and like I said previous, the over there, it's just all they're talking about is there's no cohesion in that place.
Yeah.
So Babylon is falling under its own confusion, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you couldn't make this up.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're seeing is the will of the Most High, which you believed through faith for so long. Now we're seeing the fruit of that.
Yeah.
But it's bearing the fruit. And if I may say, Elder Require mentioned the other day what these people experience is stressomania. That was funny, man. It's true, because they're bugging up, but we're as cool as a cucumber. I mean, the very fact that World War III has been pretty much declared, yeah, cool, but to us it's just another Sunday in Babylon.
And it shows you how it works. You can declare that, and it can be actually popping up at a slow burner, and everything else in between can still go. Like we know we're still going to get Jacob's Trouble, the MOTV and stuff, while that's going on, and then the penultimate destruction is going to come about when it's really going to, when them angels holding back the 4 winds, man. When Yahweh decides that it's time, then we're going to see that destruction, man. Like we get all this creep in the last precept as well. Has someone got something?
I've got something, Brother Kushar. This is Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So what these people need to understand is that what we are seeing is the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. So the best thing you can do is get into the scriptures, man. However, with that being said, there's only a select few, known as the elect, who can read the scriptures with understanding. But ultimately, you know, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So things are going to lead towards World War III because that's what's prophesied in the Bible. Because you've got certain bugged out Christians out there, or Muslims or whatever, praying to their God to help, you know, to stop the war. But they don't understand that the God of the Bible is the one that's bringing forth the war.
God.
That's
And,
it.
you know, so like, you said something there about getting into the scriptures, man. And you was alluding to the fact that obviously you're either going to get it or you're not, right? But look, if you're inclined to be, if you're drawing closer to this word, right? Remember, we mentioned the multitude, man. You know, not everybody's of the elect, of the 144,000, I should say. So if you're inclined to this word, man, you know, all you can do is pray on that, and pray that the Lord has mercy on you and gives you some knowledge on that, man. And you could escape this destruction. We have to put that out there, you know, because there are other people outside the 144,000 that's going to be redeemed, man. You know.
I say something about Bashar? Just to touch on what you both said, we're the only ones who have got the 100% truth, because if you look at what took place in the White House yesterday or the day before, where they had, I think it's Paula White, some Christian pastor, and some other people laying hands on Donald Trump, praying to Jesus, asking him to guide the Americans in this war. Your average Christian, your average Jake in the street who doesn't know this truth, they'll probably buy into that and believe that, America is a God-fearing country and the Lord's with America in this war. They'll be deceived by it. But we're the only ones who are telling the real truth about what's happening according to real biblical prophecy. All those Christian pastors, like I saw a video of some woman, and she was watching the news, and eyes were like as big as lamps, because she's looking at what's going on. And then she turns around and says, "Oh, but there's going to be a rapture, and we're not going to go through any tribulation." She had that Christian rapture mindset. And I'm looking at her thinking, some pastors fed her that, and she's believing it. But guess what? It's soon going to be revealed who had the real truth. All them pastors, they're going to be found to be liars, man. And can you imagine what's going to happen in their congregations? We talk about IUIC a lot, about them not teaching about the mark. But how about you regular Christians going to church every Sunday, thinking that their pastor's leading them in the right way, only to realise that, oh shit, what we're going to do, he's led us down the wrong path.
Well, IUIC is definitely worse because they're teaching the truth in part. They know, their leader knows the 100% truth because he was teaching. So for him to now disregard names and disregard certain parts of prophecy and lie about certain parts of prophecy, that's even worse.
True.
Because he knows better.
Because he knows better. And there's, we can get into that another time, but there's precepts on that. But
Go a precept, man.
Yeah, read that one.
God, this is 2 Thessalonians 2, and I'll start from verse 10. It says here, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 10, it says, "And with all deceivableness and of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie." So of course, referring to the point on the Christian church, or Jake nowadays, you even see Jake in Islam as well. But of course, that's like the wood and the stone. It says within the scriptures of which Jake has, it's like a certain stronghold on their minds. As it says there, it says the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. That's why when you try and tell certain family members, or at the beginning phases of this truth, you don't realize that there's like a chain on their minds, a spiritual chain on their minds, which limits them to actually perceive that, okay, your power is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. But if you try and break it down to them that it don't make sense for it to be Jesus, or it don't make sense for it to be so-called Allah, then they then start to trip up, because their mind can't just it's not for everyone to comprehend. That's pretty much it. So it's the Most High's will, again, man's goings are of the Lord, for them to be in that locked mindset, despite them thinking it's true, but it's not true.
I mean, it's even on a broader scale, because you're talking about the aspect of what you believe regarding to this truth, but even the lies that are just spread out in the world. That's why some people still believe in the politicians. That's why who mentioned about
That's true.
laying hands on
Donald
Trump?
Trump, yeah.
You know, they look at that and they think that Donald Trump is a Christian man, or you know, what was her name?
Paula White.
Yeah,
Woman
Paula
teaching
White.
anyway.
Yeah, a woman teaching. Paula White's a real Christian. She's made how much money off of her truth, which is a lie. I'm not even gonna call it truth. Her lie.
Yeah.
You know, so the scriptures say, man, the deceived and the deceiver are his. So
Both.
you know, there's that covering that's been cast, man. That covering cast. It's all over the people, man. That's why you think in 2026 people would understand that there's a cabal, a secret organized government ruling this earth.
I've got that.
And if you can get that one second. People, you can still talk to people about that in this day and age, 2026, and they'll have that glazed look over their eyes, or they'll just be like, well, I don't care. Well, there's gonna come a time when you're gonna care. And that by the time you care, it's gonna be too late.
True.
And I ain't talking about no damn Edomites or Elamites or whatever, man. I'm talking about you people, you Israelites, man. Because we don't give a shit about you heathens, man. We don't care what happens to you. It's not for you anyway, man. Pretty get that.
You gotta get to back up what you're saying, officer. Oh yeah. To back up what you're saying, officer. Raymond's.
Ravens.
And he said to me, don't do it quickly. You told me to slow down, you know.
So good, brother.
Ravens.
Hey, be careful. I didn't take it away. I'm just joking.
Romans 11:7. You know, we have to have fun in these things sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Romans 11:7. When then Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So, as what the officer just said a second ago, we don't give a shit about the other nations, what they say, right? It's not for them.
And not just the other nations that are cutting.
Yeah.
But those of our people that ain't gonna get it, man.
Yes.
The dead weight.
Yeah.
Listen, if we allowed you guys to keep going, you could just drag us down, man.
Yep.
You know, there's so many of our people that just have to be stopped.
Yeah.
You know, and in the media as well, you've got these super coons out there.
Yeah.
You know, aligning themselves with the Edomites just to make a buck.
Yeah.
These sellouts.
Yeah.
You know, sellouts in the truth. You know, so all these people they got to go, man. They can't come into the kingdom, man.
That's it, man.
It's
Can I say one more thing, officer? Just like Captain yesterday at camp, he was saying the same thing about, you know, Yahushua going on the cross. You know we talk about the Roman centurions, but really and truly it was our own people that is a lot to pay for, you know. Because remember they said, you know, let the blood be upon us. This generation upon generation. But that's why we're under the curses now. And that shows the power of the Lord, because they said this, and the Lord made that come into yes, thank you.
Life and
You
death
see,
is
Yeah.
in
the power of the tongue. You see.
Precisely.
So it's so a lot of the reason, you know, we've done our own things. We've committed sin, you know, so we have to pay back for our own faults and our sins and stuff like that. But you know, the curses are on us, and plus, even our people are wicked.
Yeah.
You see. So back to what you're saying, officer. You see, when Israel have not attained, which have secret, but the election have obtained it. So that's what we talk about, the elect. It's all about the elect. When Yahushua comes back, he's coming back for the elect of Israel, not for the 2/3.
Yeah, just to back you up, because the sins that are falling upon our own people, which was when they were saying, "Give us Barabbas."
Yes.
There was the ninjas.
Yeah.
And we don't want Yahushua, give us Barabbas. So they said, "No, let it fall upon our sons and their sons." So that's all through the generations. But when we sin, the point he was making is that when we could sin, but the Most High elect us covered. We're covered us. He's covered us.
That's the
He doesn't hold
equivalent,
it to us.
right? That's the equivalent of you know, these Christians, when you tell them that Yahushua is a dark-skinned man, and they're still no, it's not my Jesus. You know what I mean? So basically, they're shit. They want to shit on Yahushua for something that is not for them. You know, Barabbas wasn't for them. What was there to gain from that, but other than their hatred of the truth?
Yeah.
And of Yahushua, man.
Yeah.
But let's get back on the topic.
I've got a precept. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And you see, that's ultimately why the people of the world would rather this not come to pass. Because you have a term called MAD, MAD, which stands for mutually assured destruction. The moment a nation pushes that button and another nation pushes that button, wherever those missiles, wherever land those missiles land on, it's through.
Global
Give up.
catastrophes.
It's done.
You know, and you're right, because look, in a usual war, men are sent to the front lines and there's fighter jets and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to occur. You know, Second Ezra's the 13th chapter and all of that. But you're talking about things where you can be safely feel like you're safely, you know, sitting at home, and next thing you know, it's happening right now.
Yep.
Missiles are dropping in your backyard, man.
Yeah.
So that's really showing you that, you know, we've gone from the swords to the spears, to the bows and the arrows and the catapults, to the machine guns,
Yeah.
the warships, the submarines, to the ultimate, the waster, you know, that nuclear device.
Intercontinental
I've got that
ballistic
here,
missile. Yeah.
Can I say something, Brother Fisher? It's interesting because these small hats always want to go on about the H cost, right? They're always crying about the H cost, but guess what? They're actually going to experience a real H cost in these coming days. Like you said, this battle shall be fought with burning and fuel of fire. Their asses are going to get roasted, man. Both in Israel and in Babylon the Great.
That's right.
There's nobody coming out of Babylon the Great that ain't of the chosen of the Israelites. 100% of America is going to be destroyed by fire.
It's like someone get the one where it talks about the eyes shall melt in their
Oh, yeah.
holding their tongue shall melt.
Daddy.
Because this is what we're talking about, man. This is not no light destruction we're talking about. You know, even in those split seconds of your destruction, the pain is going to be immense. And you know, when they fire those nuclear missiles, right? Don't be deceived. There's a certain way that they drop those things. They explode them at a certain height above ground level for more destruction. Because if you was to drop it in between structures, you're then diminishing the
blast radius.
Thank you.
True.
The blast radius, man. So
That's a good point.
not only have they created these, well, not only is the Most High created, we can get that precept.
Yeah, I've got it on there.
You know, created this device. Now he's put it in their hearts and minds, or their minds, to use it most effectively, man. You know what I mean? And that's Esau, because he's the king of, when it comes to torture and that type of thing, Esau is the king of that, man. You look through history, the Spanish Inquisition and all of that, they were doing some crazy stuff. The Canterbury Tales in England and stuff, torture was crazy, man. And they come up with all sorts of devices during the transatlantic slave trade that they was doing to our people, man. So yeah, Bob, can I quickly bring that one out, yeah? Like you were just talking about.
What the one that you?
Yeah, actually.
14, 12.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Wait.
Oh,
Yeah. Zechariah 14 verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that are fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths.
That's crazy. When you think about that, man. I mean, Slacker, read that again.
Yep.
reloading.
Slow it down. Zechariah 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that are fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths.
Who can remember the perfect depiction of that?
Terminator.
T2.
It's unbelievable. And it just goes to show you that
Banging on that.
they know the precepts, man. You know, she's standing at that on that metal fence, holding that shit. The blast kicks off, and it's almost as if she sees it. She knows it's coming before it comes.
Yeah, because she was dreaming.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
sleeping,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was a dream.
And then, like, you see it. You see everything we just read happening to her, man.
If I can say something, because when she was dreaming, she had that knife and she stuck it on the table and she put fate. If you remember that part, she put fate. right? So that was inevitable to happen. Is it?
Prophecy,
The
baby.
prophecy
yeah.
was to come
And she
to
knew
pass.
that because, you know,
Yes.
not to get off topic really, but she knew that because it was a recurring thing trying to stop this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you
Yeah.
what it couldn't be stopped.
Couldn't be stopped. Fate.
Because it's fate, it's prophecy, man.
Yeah.
That was prophecy. And she
Yeah.
tried to stop, she did all she could to stop it,
Mm.
and it never stopped, man. There's not one movie
Yeah.
of that franchise where that shit stops.
No.
Mm.
There's even one when they say that he was never meant to stop.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
May I say something on that as well, Baba Kusha? When I watched the making of that scene, the people, the FX crew that worked on that scene, a lot of them said they were traumatized by it
Mm.
because it was so real. Like,
Yeah.
because obviously they made the scale model and everything like that, and obviously they really tried to make it realistic. And some of them afterwards, they were like, yeah, it was, you know, it was just horrible to see.
Mm.
So,
I've got a quick article just to bring out. This is what we now we hear of wars and we see it on the news, but just as you're saying, when you're actually in war, right, is it's a whole nother story. So this is what he's talking about here. This is Dubai iconic Burj
Khalifa.
Burj AI Arab Hotel engulfed in flames. So a luxury hotel in Dubai was hit as Iranian launched strikes across the Middle East in relations for a retaliation for a massive ongoing attack against it by the US and Israel. Video verified by the BBC. So I saw it and it looked like, what came to my mind was the Grenfell Tower. So whoever was in there, you know, just visualizing, verified by the BBC, shows a fire raging at Firmament, the Palm Hotel on Saturday in the United Arab Emirates, largest city. Because when you watch, which I have watched some of the brochures, you know, enticing you to go on holiday in Dubai because everything's so hot. It's always hot, but you got the malls which are air conditioned, and you got if you like McDonald's, you got everything you want. Everything you in Babylon you can get there because people are obviously they're drunk on Babylon. So, but if he was there when that happened, as some we've seen again the TikTok videos, people want to get out of there, but that is very ugly to be in. If you're caught when the fire is engulfing the bottom of the, you know, just visualizing the Grenfell Towers, people are jumping out. We hear all kinds of, you know, stories when you hear those stories, and also the twin towers, 9/11 twin
when you
towers.
said that, that's what that was my thought. People just jumping out, man. See, it's acts of desperation in those times. You know, it's going to be crazy. Read that one.
This is 1 Thessalonians. I'll start at the top. For of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Because, you know, you got a lot of people that have jumped out the UK, gone to Dubai, you know, don't have to pay taxes,
Oh yeah.
you know, promised a better living. You can leave your iPhone, you can leave 50k out on a park bench and come back hours later and still find it there. So, you know, they was in that peace and safety spirit. But now what they're witnessing is the sudden destruction. You know, and something you mentioned earlier, officer, where people, you know, they have the spirit of, oh yeah, well that's happening over there. You know,
it's on
but
the TV, innit?
you know, that's just on the TV. That's just on X. You know, but look, man, the whole world is being snared into this, man. You know, slowly but surely, the whole world is going to be snared into this. Because you need to remember as well, they're trying to adopt this digital micro C-hit infrastructure as well, man.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, you know,
Worldwide.
worldwide. You know, then the beast is going to hate the whore.
Yeah.
So this thing is going to end up on a global scale, man.
And what you said there, it's like, because they're doing things on a multiple levels.
it.
It's not just one thing happening. They're
Oh,
they're trying to knit everything, stitch everything together, like you just said. You know, they're bringing out in the UK now, they're going to roll out facial recognition cameras everywhere. That's law's been passed already. And what do they say? That's for peace and safety. And there's a saying that if you give up your rights for your safety, you don't deserve it either, man. You know, there's inalienable rights that you have on this, that you're supposed to have as a being on this earth, man. But these devils want to take it all away from you. They want full control.
Yeah.
You know, as we're talking about the prophecies, we've got to talk about some other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they want full control of everything, man. Your autonomy. They want control of your mind, your body, and your soul, man. That's why they do everything. You know, they're doing everything in order to taint the people's souls, man. It's nothing but wickedness here, man. Nothing but wickedness. All this, you know, you've got this. You know, how long have they had adult content on the internet?
Ever since the internet started.
For free,
Yeah.
anybody can look at it, right? But now all of a sudden, after decades or whatever, they care about the safety of the children.
Just all of a sudden.
Can I say something?
IDs and whatnot.
1 second, though.
Yeah.
It's a ruse because we know why they're doing it. It's all about gathering information because they're not just doing it now with that sort of thing. They're doing it in the gaming industry. So if you want to buy games and they want to ask you if you're old enough to buy a game now, now you got to verify your age. So it's all about gathering information, and these companies are sending your information
That's right.
to the governments, man.
Yep. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Data.
That's it. I probably want to say something. I'll get your appreciation.
It's just in my head. Give me a second. It's say what you said again, and it'll come back to me. You were talking about facial. Oh, the internet. Yeah. With this facial recognition thing, age verification, I've noticed that a lot of sites we used to be able to access, you can't access anymore. Like BitChute. I tried to go onto BitChute the other day. It's saying, oh, because of the UK's verification laws, you cannot access it in this country. Now, obviously, I've got smart. I use the VPN, virtual private network, and you can bypass these things. But that I wanted to get to the Rumble to see the real news about what's going on in Iran, because BBC News, Sky News, CNBC, they're not reporting on the real actual what's going on in the war. Like when you're trying to find out how many Americans have been killed in the conflict so far, 6. We know that's bullshit.
No.
It's probably near the thousands now. Last time I heard it was like 500 Americans at one particular base got hit up. So what we're getting on this side is the propagandized version of events. They're trying to make out, like when Pete Hegseth, that piece of shit, was giving his speech the other day, he was saying we control the tempo of this operation, and you know the Iranians are depleting all their reserves and blah blah blah. He was giving all the big talk. Now your average regular person who doesn't do their research might buy into that bullshit, but it really is bullshit. So in order to get the truth, Esau's locking down avenues to get that.
That's why they want to lock off the VPNs now. They want to lock the VPNs off now. So you probably didn't know. That's another step. This is all leading towards what? The famine of the word. Man.
Yep.
Which is another prophecy. You know, sooner or later we ain't going to be doing this, man. There's going to become a time we ain't going to be doing this no more. It's going to be that time is going to be over. The time for prophesying will be over. Why? Because we'll be in the prophecies anyway.
Phase 2. God.
You know, read your precept.
This is the book of Job 20 and 22 to 23. In his fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Lord our power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Yeah, man. So the destruction, you know, Esau's filling his boots right now. You know, Babylon's filling their boots. Got Venezuela, and now they want to start messing with all these other countries.
They're fucking in Mexico as well.
Yeah, and they did that before in Iran. I can't remember, it was 1974 or something like that. And previous to that, and they set someone else up. And anyway, long story short, they had hostages in the embassy, right? And they let the females and the Jakes go, man. The so-called African Americans. And when asked why, remember that guy that was interviewing Farrakhan? He was interviewing Farrakhan. It's just this guy is interviewing. I can't remember the leader's name. But anyway, long story short, he said the reason why we let the late women go is because in Islam, you know, we're not for Islam, but in Islam we hold the women at a certain regard, you know,
They're
because
civilians.
yeah. But for the African Americans, he says your people have subjected them to all sorts of atrocities and captivities, man. So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Yeah.
So that's why we're letting them go. And then he's like, is there any chance we're talking about, letting go of them? No.
He's still got to pay.
You've got to pay.
That's
Esau.
right, man.
He's been sitting out the back door for too long.
You know, they can't even see when they deserve punishment. Like you should know as a person, when you've done some shit in your life, man, you deserve what's coming to you.
True.
But they don't feel that way because they're proud.
Mm-hmm. Precept. This is Revelation 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven, because ultimately this is going to lead to, you see World War III brewing up, but ultimately they're going to stop battling each other and turn their battle towards Yahushua and the holy angels. Which, if I may, at the back of that, also bring this up. This is Zephaniah 3:8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So this is what these current events that we're seeing are leading up to.
That's a hot scripture, man. That's hot. Like that's bringing heat on our enemies, man. I mean, that's a threat and a promise at the same time, man.
Yep.
You know, if they understood the levels of demise that they're in, like you got the Heavenly Father and His Son coming to basically make them pay for all the shit that they've been putting on this earth against His people, man. It's like if they knew, they'd be very, very, very afraid, and they'd either go crazy with that knowledge or just, unalive themselves. Because if I was them, I'd just live it up right now. And then just, I live it up to the max out.
Max out that
and then
credit
just,
card.
when I can't max out no more. See you
Not all
later.
that coke.
You know what's beautiful about this time now? All these Edomites, because they love to run around in other people's countries. What does the scripture say? He's a proud man, leaving for home.
Yeah.
Guess what? A lot of these international flights, they ain't going to be flying so much no more. You know, they're going to be locked down, and Esau's going to be forced to be wherever he's at and face the judgment that's coming. Now, I want to say one thing. Like you said earlier about, oh, that's just happening over there. People who watch the TV, right? I'm just looking at here because you've got TV there. I'm thinking, soon you're not going to be watching the TV. You're going to be watching out your window. That's going to be the new TV screen, because shit's going to be live, directly in your face, man.
Yep.
Like, there's going to be no point watching TV because you're going to see people running outside. Yeah, you've got to be a part of it.
You're going to hear it.
Yeah,
Screaming, yeah.
live and direct, man.
Ganache of tea.
If you're still in your house, if you're foolish enough to still be in your, the scriptures talk about it in the Apocrypha when it talks about a man shall
Oh yeah.
Spoil their house with a sword.
No,
Invade
that's
them
the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and I bring this out as well because when you hear about the beast shall hate the whore, that's Revelation 17:16. We're at the beginning stages because on the way out I just saw a little bit of an Elder Apostle Tahar video. So this is what the nations feel, which is it's just like a beginning of it. Starmer, we are not joining the US and Israel offensive strike. Right, that was in the House of Parliament. Right now they call it the Senate. Over here they call it the Cabinet. Over in America they call it the Senate. But this is what they're expressing. Refuses. This is Qatar. Refuses to use refuses U.S. use of his airspace for operations against Iran. Breaking news: Iran officially thanks Saudi Arabia for not permitting use of its territory in the war. Right, and there's going to be more. They're going to join in the charge. Right, going to join in with the group. Italy says Israel has violated international humanitarian law. It must be isolated globally. And this is we're at that stage. As a matter of fact, let me just read it.
But whilst America's still shilling for them,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. But you know, as we know, everyone's going to be drawn into the battle. All right.
Revelation 17 and 10, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, that's the UN, or the EU, United Nations, European nations, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And they're expressing it now. Even one of their closest allies, you might have said Keir Starmer, which Donald Trump called, he said, when it came to Keir Starmer, he said, why would I join a war now why would I want you to join our war now? Keir Starmer is referring to, because they had you might call it a debate or a battle. Why would I want you to join the war now when I've already won it, he's saying. And he said, you ain't, in so many words, he said, you ain't no Winston Churchill. When you know about Winston Churchill, he's that guy, he was like a war hero to them.
Winston Churchill's a demon.
Yeah, to them he's a war hero. But what do you call it? Another word for war hero?
Warmonger.
A warmonger. He said, we will fight them I remember, I was when I was younger to hear that. We will fight them in the streets. We will fight them in the trenches. He just wanted to just tear everything up, destroy everything. So that's why he was making mockery when he said that. When Trump said about Keir Starmer, you ain't no Winston Churchill. He's belittling it.
Do you think, and it's not really, it's a rhetorical question, but do you think that Donald Trump even knows anything about British military history?
That was the comeback.
He doesn't know anything about it.
That was the comeback. That was because basically what you see, they're going at each other and they're coming. Whoever had, it's a war of words, so to speak. So let me just.
And there's the false history, and then there's the real history.
Right.
You know. So yeah, finish that. We're gonna go for another 5 minutes, man.
Come on.
So bring out some good precept before we
John 3.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. We see in the beginning stage of that now, and shall make her desolate and naked. We're not there yet, but we're starting to see that. We're getting closer to that. And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So, what's that? The intercontinental ballistic missiles. Right? They're all going to turn against. All the nations are going to turn against Babylon. Right? So it says that the whore, the beast shall hate the whore.
I think they've wanted the opportunity to do that because the scriptures say the beast shall hate the whore, but really the countries are under duress. They're forced basically with the might of Babylon to deal with them. And obviously they gain, the scriptures talk about living deliciously or whatever. I can't remember where it goes exactly, but they've gotten gains from dealing with America. But ultimately, you can't just take. You have to. There has to be some sort of give if you're doing it like that. So that's really why. If you understand what I'm trying to say. But,
there has to be some reciprocity.
Right. But ultimately, who's taking the majority of who's taking the largest slice of the cake, man? You know what I mean? The biggest piece of the pie, they're taking it.
Yep.
It's really
And going back to what Trump said, it was Obadiah says, the pride in thy heart has deceived thee. You know what I mean? He thinks that it's ridiculous when you really think about it, man. This guy is like a doddering old man who's, a child, probably a child molester and all that stuff. And they're all demons. They're just all demons, man. Let's just put it. Let's have it right, man. We're talking about demons posing as men.
Yeah.
Posing as politicians, man. It's just none of it's real. None of it's real. It's a demonic spirit that is running this earth, right? The spirit of Satan is running this earth, man. And it's the seed of the wicked.
Can I just say something before you go back, Peter? The pride of Esau, like Trump. When what's the name of his plane? That plane he travels in.
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
Yeah.
He thinks that he controls the earth and he controls the skies. Yeah. He doesn't understand it. The Lord could. Sometimes I think that in the spirit that the Lord could just put that plane down,
Yeah, but look, if the Lord wants to,
he could
right now he's just using it.
He's just using it.
He's just being used, and he, the men above him are using him, and they're being used by the Lord too. Ultimately, this is just, we're biding our time, man. You know, we've been playing the long game
Yes, the patience.
through generation to generation,
Mhm.
and coming back,
Yeah.
you know, from generation to generation, just doing this over and over again until the right time. And we're
Mhm.
coming up to that time now, man. You can't tell me this place is going to last
No.
much longer. I'm not going to put a pin on it
No, no.
because
no.
that's not what we can say.
Yeah.
But you know, you can say definitely that we know that we're not going to be here doing dealing with
2035.
this shit for much longer, man.
That's why I said earlier in that scripture I brought up. When I say it says when they shall say no, when they're about to fill their belly.
Mm.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to an appointed time, but the Lord's going to just hit that pride out of their mouths. You know what I mean?
Things are already speeding
It's
up.
speed up already. Yeah.
Mm.
So they have an agenda. It's not even a hidden agenda. They have an agenda. 'Cause we know what the agenda is.
Mm.
Yeah. So the people of this world, they don't know what that agenda is. They went on to chip everybody and the mark of the beast.
Mm.
They don't know what's going on. But the hopeful elected, the elected of Israel, we know what's happening.
It's esoteric knowledge, man.
That's
It's not for everybody to understand or to even know.
it. Yeah.
You know, we've been given through the Spirit, man, and through mercy
Mm-hmm.
to know these things, man. And there's been plenty of, and I'll just say this as well, before we get the last precept, there's been plenty of men that have known these same things and ain't doing this no more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's
They
not to
handle
say
it
that just
down.
because we're doing it, I'm not saying, no, I'm not going to put any bad vibes out, I'm just saying that that's the way it is in this thing, you know. So we have to keep on that, we have to keep on.
Fear the Lord, man.
Peace
Right.
out.
You know.
Alright, this is Joel 3 from verse 1. For behold, in those days, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Yeah, there's nothing that the enemies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and Israel as a people can do to change what's going to happen or make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've done the damage is done, so the Lord is going to gather. There's going to be a gathering in the rally decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know you're going to have to, you're going to duke it out, and then what's going to happen after? It's like, you know, when you're just watching a couple of people having a tear up and you know it's getting to the point where they're both getting tired and then you just jump in because you're fresh. You start wailing on people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. They're going to be doing their do, and your outsider's going to come through and say, "Yeah, I've had enough now,"
It's a wrap.
and that's it. It's a wrap. It's over. And even they're gonna try and look, we've got, you know, the outsider's here, the chariot, that you know, the invasion's happening. Let's link up and try. No, and we ain't got time to get that, but you got to read Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, man, because that details that. Because the outsider's going to come back and they're going to try and unify.
Mm.
And there's a movie, if you should watch the movie The Watchmen, that goes into that. The main villain, who is supposed to be one of the heroes, his name is Ozymandias, and he creates a scheme, and it's plays the long game. The scheme is to unify. He does all sorts of wicked shit in order to unify the nations for the good of humanity.
Mm.
But really what he did was set up an invasion type thing for the nations to come together and to fight this existential threat. But that sort of thing is only short term anyway.
True.
Because the people of this earth can't maintain that sort of unification, man.
No.
It's impossible. The earth is going to be made right by the 144,000, the governing body. Why? Because we have the laws, the statutes, and the commandments.
Yeah.
That's the way.
True.
You know, you can't bring about a governmental body covering the whole earth under wickedness, under deceit and lies.
Yeah.
It has to be done in righteousness, man.
Yeah.
You know, and we have established laws to do that,
Yeah.
and the one and only true power,
Yeah.
and our Lord and Savior Yahushua, man. So if there's any last precepts to pull out before we shut this.
Yeah, I've
step
got
them out,
one if I may.
One more, if I may, because of what you just said. Esau's trying to do the impossible, because in Genesis 10, it says, Genesis 10 and verse 9. Now let's go from Genesis, it's like I'm reading it wrong, Genesis 11 and verse 6. And the Lord Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. It didn't work in Genesis 10 when the nations tried to come together and unify. The Most High didn't allow it then.
Okay.
So all this, like even when you look at the, there was a picture of the European Union which showed a tower, and it looked like the Tower of Babel. Esau's a damn fool, man. It didn't work back then. Why do you think it's going to work this time?
Pride.
Yeah.
Pride
Divided
and
by
deception.
heart, deceit.
Yeah. Pride, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Pride
that's
and
the spirit.
deception.
Three of us think of the same scripture. Yeah.
And that's them. That's just them. They're the pride. That's the epitome of Esau, Edom is pride. Man.
Pride goeth before destruction, and the Holy Spirit before a fall.
That's the
And there's a saying in this world, you cannot rewrite the wheel. You know what I mean? Well, it's preordained, that's it. It's going to come to pass, that's it. You know?
You mean reinvent?
Reinvent, thank you. Reinvent the wheel. Thank you.
This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet has been among them.
Happy.
Hey, we'll close out on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
man.
That's a
Perfect
perfect
ending.
one to
Perfect.
close out, man. That's, yeah, you know, if you haven't got the picture, man, that's what we're doing here, man.
That's it.
You know, people. I remember back in the day. I'll say this real quick before we close out. Back in the day, when we used to call ourselves, when we used to say prophets, people would look at us like we thought we were something special. We're just saying things before it happens according to the scriptures. Man. Prophet is not some magical being. All right, it's just we've been given the knowledge, and we're compelled
It's just our lot.
to let the people know, man.
God.
So with that,
Yep.
we'll close out, and we'll give all praises, honor, and glory to.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Hakodash.
And as always, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone, peace and blessings of hope elect. Shalom.
Shalom. Much love.
Shalom.
Much love.